Greetings, happy coders, and welcome to another video. Today, we're going to be looking at the Midnight Brew Collection 2023. So last year, myself and Andy Johns took 5 of our games, put them on tape, made a little set, and people could order them and pick them up at Crash. And it's a lovely little collection that we signed, numbered, and all of that. Went down really well, and so we decided to do it again. And this year, we also got some other developers in, and so that we've been working with them. Some of the games have been released before, but with very limited quantities and no longer available, and some of them have never been released on tape before. So the ones that have never been released, we haven't done too much to those. The ones that did have a limited release, we've made a few extra additions, a few little bits of polish here and there. I mean, they're all fantastic games, didn't need a lot, just really nice to have, let's say, not fundamentals. But anyway, we've added those, and so they're all available to pre-order, and you can come if you come into Crash 2023. You can go to our shop, which is Ko-Fi, on Ko-Fi, K-O-F-I, Midnight Brew. I'll put a link in the thing down below there, and if you haven't got it, or if you haven't ordered already, and you can also have it shipped. We'll ship anywhere as well this time around, so that's great. So obviously, first game on the list here is Lunar Rescue. Not going to spend a lot of time on this. You guys are, I'm sure, very familiar with it, as I coded it live. But the only thing that we've added really is we've just added a sort of animated loading screen, really, and a little flash. So it's paused at the moment. It seems like it's got stuck, so just bear with me a second. I have a bit of trouble running Fuse, you know. Sometimes it just doesn't play ball, which is kind of annoying. But anyway, we'll get it up just a second. Right. Okay. All right. I think that's working now, isn't it? There you go. So we just added this little star field. It's not a big deal, but it was a nice touch. And yeah, so when you boot up, you get that, and you get that little Midnight Brew splash, and that's all. So this game's never been released on tape, so didn't really need to add much. So yeah, there it is in all its glory. I'm sure you know it. As I said, it's my main game for the last year or so that I was working on. So yeah, real golden age classic from 1979, Taito. Lots of fun, and I'll be there to sign it if you want that one. So let's move on to the next one. All right. Which one shall I pick? Okay, well, I've seen this one here, so I'll pick it right away. So this is Maze Death Rally X. I've been working with Tom Dolby and also Bill Harbison. I'm gonna clear my throat there. So Bill, you might know, he did quite a few loading screens for Ocean, and I did a loading screen for this when I was working on it, but I was just running out of time, and so called in the cavalry, so to speak, and Bill kind of added the finishing touches and little details, and it was really nice. And then Tom was happy, and he added a bit of animation, and I also provided a new logo, changed a couple of things like that. Mainly it's just the intro, and I tweaked the car graphic a little bit as well, just to give it a bit more definition. So as I said, it was already a brilliant game, so we just added a few little extras. Let's take a look at that. So just a bit of fun there with the animation and the samples. And obviously, totally new loading screen as compared to the earlier version. Main game itself, well, we'll have a quick play. There's a new splash. Oh, there's a new arcade intro that Tom did as well. It's kind of fun, isn't it? Very similar to the arcade game. New instructions as well. As you can see here, this was already there, but then there's another little section that he did as well. So we'll show that too. Here, a little bit more like the arcade. So all of this gives it a real arcade feel, doesn't it? Just stronger. I mean, it was already a really good arcade conversion, but that just adds that little bit more. And I added this, well, I provided this little logo, and you'll see the graphics. We'll have one very quick game of this as well. Let's go. Didn't say I was good, did I? I knew it was caught then. Okay, so there you go. I'm better at that game than I played just then, but anyway, yeah, fantastic maze scrolling race game from originally, I think, 1982. And some of you obviously would know Trans Am, which is, well, I suppose you'd call Trans Am something like a kind of mix between Rally X and something like, oh, what's that other game? I can't remember the name of it now. Anyway, it's a ship, and you that's a so-called golden age expert here, but it has slipped my mind. Um, it's basically you're a spaceship and you fly. It's a multi-scroller, and you have to. There are these big green ships that you have to shoot. Someone will say in the comments, and the name has escaped me. I know that it's not Sinistar, but it's something similar to that. Anyway, really good game. So moving on, let's go on then. So Ben, let's take a look at next one. Okay, so let's go. Guess we'll go on to Mr. Do. So this is Adrian Singh and graphics by Mark Jones again. Pretty much nothing really much to add. But I had an idea about doing a multicolor effect, which you'll see. So we'll talk about that. There's not much else. When you load the loading screen, there's a updated logo and a little animation. I've tried to put animations in every loading screen when they load, when they finish. Some of you will remember some games like, I think, Combat Links and a few others had these kind of animations that happened once the game loaded, and I think that's kind of a cute thing to do. So added that. Yeah, really the only other thing is the multicolor effect on the menu, but it is a pretty snazzy one. I think you'll like it. So let's take a look. So yeah, there you go. So this is done by raster beam timing and drawing, changing the color that's being drawn on the fly as the raster beam moves down, so that you get more colors on screen than you would normally, right? You can see if I just pause it for a second, see those are actually bars of 4 pixels, and they're scrolling up 2 pixels at a time. It's not exactly the same as the arcade, but it's a little bit closer, so it's a pretty nice effect. If you haven't seen the game, I will have one quick go. I think it's QAOPM default. So let's... Don't know what I was thinking then. I promise I'm deliberately playing badly so that the game will finish, just to give you a chance to look at it. Okay, so that's the third game. We'll move on to the next one. Let's should have that here. Just a second. Okay. Now, this is a game called Nothing, and it's a conversion of a PC game, and it honestly plays like an indie game. Now, not a lot has been added to this, because it is pretty much perfect. I know that the coder has fixed a couple of small little bugs, but nothing really worth mentioning too much. But of course, what it does have is a custom loader, which is really nice. And of course, if you get it on the cassette, then you'll be able to enjoy that kind of loading process. You'll see it's sped up here on this version, so we'll have a quick look at that. Another thing to say about Mr. Do, which is also the case for Nothing, these are two of the only games, certainly homebrew, that have music and sound effects happening at the same time. So that's quite a technical achievement, and really great to see that in both of these two games. So we'll have a quick look at this one. As I said, it's Sergei Smirnov. He's based in St. Petersburg. And yeah, really great guy. He's been helping me out with a few other bits and pieces too. So yeah, we've become good friends. So hi Sergei, if you're watching. And yeah, I'll just have one quick game, right? Again, same thing. So this is a very impressive game, really technically, 4-way scrolling, multi-directional, really polished. I think probably the best homebrew game I've played. It's really as good as anything that you'll play on the Spectrum, quite frankly, in my opinion. So let's have a quick go. So yeah, the kind of gimmick of this game is you start with nothing, no music, no controls, nothing, and then little by little you get more control. I'm not going to show you a lot, but at the moment I can only move left. The exit is to the right. Aye. Aye. I'm useless at this game. It's a really tough game. Oh, yeah. I'm going to stop there before I embarrass myself. It's late at night and I've been coding all day, so yeah. I'm usually a bit better than this, but I'm just not feeling it tonight. So anyway, fantastic game. You can see the walkthrough online if you want to see a bit more of it. It's really, really great. So let's move on. So the last game that I'm going to show you is, you probably already know, it is Ooze by Andy Johns. Obviously originally written, I think 2017, maybe 2018. So completely revamped it, redid the engine, saved a lot of memory, more enemies, more graphics, more levels, kind of redesigned the look and feel of the game. It's a lot more polished, a lot more professional, and he's kind of honed his skills since he first wrote the game and wanted to bring those to bear, let's say, and he's done so. And it's been a pretty tough one because we've been working to a bit of a deadline, but we have managed to add pretty much everything that we wanted to, and this is a definitive version of the game. There is a version available for the C64 and the Amiga, which I think Andy's going to be bringing to Crash as well, and some of the additions to that we've incorporated into this one too. So that's all great. Okay. So that's let's without further ado, let's take a look at that. So again, a little animation for you there at the start of the game, and we've done a completely new intro, so I'll show you that as well. I'll just pause it there. I think what we've done here, this is probably going to be the last AGD game that I work on, perhaps Andy as well. And we really pulled out all the stops and pushed it to the absolute limit, I think. I don't think you're going to see an AGD game pushed quite as far as this in terms of, it has more than 100, I think it has more than, well, almost 100 individual sprite frames. And the rooms are extremely detailed and colorful and everything else, and the enemies are varied and so on. And there's additional sound effects that are not the AGD sound effects, and all kinds of stuff really. So yeah, I think it's we're both really proud of it, and I hope you enjoy it. So we'll have a quick play as well. So if you don't know this game at all, it's a very simple concept. You move left and right. You can't jump. Instead, what you do is flip. So you flip from the floor to the ceiling, ceiling to the floor, and that's how you get around the enemies. And the objects of the game, a pretty classic formula: find the keys, get to the computer, disable the force fields, and escape. I thought I was doing really well then. Getting a bit cocky. Now, I'm not going to play through the game, I'm just going to get the first key, I think. A couple of things you'll notice, obviously there's kind of electricity things there which we added. Most of the enemies will have more animation frames. Everything has more animation frames because of the memory savings. Things like the extra lives are animated now. Various little bits and pieces like that. I'm not going to talk about all of them because some of them are just fun to discover when you play the game. I'm just going to switch off, get to the computer room, and then we'll finish up. So, yeah. I knew I'd done that. here's the computer core where you bring your keys and then disable force fields. Okay, so there we go. I'd have to then move on, get the other 3 keys, unlock, and then make my way out. So, yeah. And then there's a second game mode afterwards as well, where the gameplay is slightly different. So you can play through it twice. And yeah, lots to discover. Okay, well, look, I think I will leave it there. Hope you've enjoyed looking at those. If you would like to buy the set, or if you've already if you only want 1 or 2 of them, you can also order them individually. Just go to the Ko-Fi shop in the link below, and you can collect at Crash, and myself and Andy will be there. We'll sign them for you. And if not, you can have them posted as well. If they're posted, then I guess we'll be able to sign them as well. We'll be sending them after the event, so I'll certainly sign all the copies of Lunar Rescue, and Andy will sign Ooze. So if you do order them to be delivered, then those will be signed. You just won't get to meet us, which, you know, what a shame, but there you go. Such is life. Okay, so if you are going to Crash, I look forward to seeing you there. It's not long now, is it? Less than a month. And see you next time. As always, happy coding. Bye-bye.